Welcome to this video about benefits of connecting to your inner child. This video will help you understand why connecting with your own inner child can be really useful to you and helpful in your personal self-growth journey. So without much ado, let's quickly jump to it. How can connecting with my inner child really be helpful? What benefit will I derive from it? After all, I'm an adult, I'm a mature person, and I should not be childish. I should not portray any behaviors of a child. This is the thought, right? Most of us have that. Most of us feel like we want to completely disconnect and move away from our, childlike part of the psyche. Even chastise ourselves. But remember, inner child is the source of your creativity, your innovation, the joy, the excitement. If you want to be happy in life, if you really want to lead a fulfilled life, inner child is the way to go. So this all seems very flowery and okay, but well, what are the real benefits? So let's go through them one by one. Benefit 1 of connecting with your inner child. It helps you to build self-awareness. When you connect with your inner child, you are able to see the source of your behavior patterns, your fears, your phobias, all those unconscious aspects of you which kind of come out, and you don't have much control over them, the parts where you feel, well, this is just me, this is how I am, this is who I am. And if some of those parts are not very helpful for you, they're counterproductive for you, for your mental well-being, then you can understand those parts. You can understand where the source of your behavior patterns or thought patterns is. If you want to change your limiting beliefs, you can understand the source of your limiting beliefs, or even understand, first of all, what those limiting beliefs are. Because sometimes they can just be so deep-rooted and within our mind, so hidden. But when we connect with our inner child, it is usually the source of all our fears, phobias, limiting beliefs, all the behavior patterns that we have accumulated over a period of time. So connecting with your inner child helps you to become aware, to become more conscious of your own aspects, the aspects of your personality, of your own mind, of all these fears, all the things that are holding you back. And when you become aware, then you can start changing and you can start healing. Point 2 of why you should connect with your inner child. Because it can help you heal the inner hurt. Most of us have some or the other kind of emotional experience or challenges which we've gone through. And if you are somebody who has experienced some kind of trauma, let's say maybe the relationship with parents, or there was bullying at school, or even if you have lost somebody, if there was some kind of a challenge which you faced in your life, which has left this kind of a deep-seated trauma within your heart, then connecting with your inner child can help you connect with that deep-rooted part of your psyche which is hurting, which is aching, which has experienced that trauma. And it can help you nurture your hurt and ache. And how that's possible is because this inner child part of us is the one that has usually experienced that trauma, and we kind of shut this child out. We close the door and we say, you don't exist. But when we connect with our inner child, when we open that door and meet the inner child, see how they're hurt, we can start nurturing it, we can start healing it, we can start acknowledging it, and that helps in our own healing as an adult. It helps us to get over that trauma, get over those experiences, the baggage that we've been holding on to or that has been literally pulling us down. We can let go of all of that when we start nurturing and healing the pain and trauma of our inner child. The third benefit of connecting with your inner child, accessing repressed emotions. Now, when we grew up, most of us learned to, repress certain emotions that we deemed were not fit for expression, maybe like sadness or anger. Maybe there was some other emotion at your household which was not to be shown. And because most of us did not learn to deal with these emotions, we did not learn to access them, process them, and release them. So, what we did with them is we repressed them, we completely put them inside. And these emotions basically get pent up. It's like you're filling a pressure cooker, and that pressure cooker keeps increasing in steam. And thus, these emotions either come out in the form of, maybe you kind of have experienced it, a random act of moodiness, maybe aggression, maybe you have an emotional outburst of crying or frustration, or at some point you have an uncontrollable emotion. It is these pent up emotions which come out in all these forms. Do you have trouble containing your emotions at times? Sometimes you just feel like, oh my God, I'm going to burst out. Sometimes you feel like there is this cacophony of emotions. I don't even know why I'm sad. I don't know why I'm frustrated. I don't know why I'm angry. I'm just fed up of everything. It's because of these pent up emotions. And by connecting with your inner child, you are able to access all these emotions. Normally, all these emotions are repressed and they go into an unconscious mind, and we're not able to immediately access them. So even if we think, okay, why am I sad? You're not able to access it. You just feel like, I don't know, I just am. So if you want to access these, you can connect with your inner child. When you connect with your inner child, you can become aware of these emotions, and you can also help your inner child safely express all these emotions now in a very healthy manner, in a positive manner. You can parent your own inner child to understand what is the safe and healthy manner of expressing these emotions, which otherwise cannot be expressed to people, but there are ways that you can express them and release them. And this way, when you are connected to your inner child continuously, what happens is that you are able to regularly process your emotions, and the pressure doesn't build up. It's like a boiling pot where water continuously evaporates. Those emotions come and they are released. And that is the method you can use for achieving that inner peace. Because when you want happiness, when you want fulfillment, but all of these emotions are within you, they keep pressing against your psyche. They keep creating that stress, that anxiety. Sometimes we just feel like we are getting overwhelmed. There's a lot of emotion, but I don't know what it is. You feel stressed or you feel panicked. You have these anxiety attacks suddenly. It's all these emotions, right, which are pressing against your psyche. But when you deal in this healthy manner and help your child deal with these emotions, then you learn how to deal with them naturally every day without actually putting them in a pressure cooker. And then you don't feel the stress, then you don't feel that anxiety, then you don't feel overwhelmed with your emotions. Fourth reason why you should connect with your inner child. Do you have some counterproductive behaviors? Do you behave maybe very violently or throw a tantrum, or maybe you just start fighting with everybody around? Do you have moments when you feel like, well, this behavior of mine I know is bad, I really want to change, but I don't know how. I don't know what to do with it. It's just there and I don't even know why it's there. And it might not be in the form of explosive behaviors always. Sometimes it's very passive. So have you seen or noticed this aspect within you where you suddenly sulk when things don't happen your way? If people are not agreeing to what you say, you suddenly, sit with a bloated face, or you feel like you're not able to talk in front of people, or you can't give a presentation in front of people, or maybe you don't, you're not able to talk to girls, or you're not able to talk to boys, or you're not able to, wear certain dresses. These counterproductive behaviors are learned in your childhood. And they may be because of so many issues. Say there was a very, very restrictive teacher and she stopped you from talking. Okay? Whenever you spoke, she was very, very prohibitive and she would yell, scream at you. What you learned then as a child is to keep quiet and not open your mouth, not talk. And that carried forward to your adulthood. And now you feel this intense fear when you are about to talk. Or maybe your parents were very restrictive about talking to the other gender, a boy or a girl. They prohibited you. And you learned at that time that it is not good to talk to the opposite gender. And you carried forward this habit in your adulthood, and now you're not able to talk even when you want to. There can be so many counterproductive behaviors that you have learned in your childhood and they carry forward. If you as a child used to bloat up your face when you were angry or when things didn't go your way, it was okay because people would kind of understand, or at max you would get maybe a scolding. But now when you do the same thing in all your relationships, when somebody says something to you which you don't like or which you're not able to deal with, you can't just sit like that and say, I'm not talking to you. That kind of affects the relationships that we have, and that affects really the maturity level that we show to others. So if you want to deal with these counterproductive behaviors, you need to connect to your inner child. You need to understand where do these behaviors emanate from and why do you have these behaviors. And that in turn can help you to actually let go of these behaviors and change them, change the basic thought process, the unconscious thought process which creates these behaviors. The fifth reason why you should connect with your inner child. Because you can actually improve your self-image inside out. A lot of us have a certain perception of how we are, what our limitations are, have these limiting beliefs, think we can do this and we cannot do that. All of this comes somewhere from your childhood experiences. Say you were bullied in school, or you maybe experienced some kind of a situation or some kind of a harassment either at school, home, with some other kids outside or some stranger. Now, if say all these people called you fat or ugly, or they called you stupid, or there was a perception generally in your house of saying, oh, you can never do anything right, or maybe you misplaced something or you threw something. And so often we are very quick to judge at our homes, right? We immediately tell ourselves, oh, this is a very clumsy person, this person doesn't know how to handle, don't give any glass items to them, right? If people around you, for example, said these things, you completely put them inside in your mind. Your inner child absorbed them as truth. Because that time we're not able to identify and figure out what is actually right and what is just something someone is saying. So you just take whatever people say into you as it is. And this becomes a part of your self-belief. This becomes a part of what you think about yourself. Your self-image later in life is formed from this very part. How you believe you are, how you believe the world around you is, or how you believe others are, comes from this. In particular, I want to talk about the self-image part of it. When people call you names or label you in certain ways, it stays with you and that forms your beliefs. And these beliefs can be very limiting because you have yourself limited yourself to just that much. Or you have associated various negative connotations or various negative attributes to that aspect of yours. And hence you never try to say, have water in a glass. You maybe use something which is unbreakable. You maybe never try to, uh, well, you never try to wear something which is nice. You always wear very loose clothes because since your childhood, people have said that you're fat. Or it could be something as simple as you don't apply your mind because, well, people since childhood said that you are not as intelligent as Chintu Pappu or some other person. So now if you have experienced this, and if you want to change your self-image, if you want to look at yourself in a completely new way and have a positive self-image, the confidence that you truly deserve, then you need to connect with your own inner child. And when you connect with your inner child, you're able to change your self-image because you're able to see why that self-image is in the first place. And you actually go down back into your inner child and talk to your inner child saying, well, this experience does not define you. Even if somebody called you fat, clumsy, unintelligent, or etc., it doesn't mean you are those things. And that's when you heal. That's when your inner self starts to change, and that radiates outwards. It completely changes your self-image. So if you want to change your self-image, you need to connect with your inner child. The sixth and most important point about why we should connect with our inner child. Like all children, our own inner child also wants validation. It needs love, acceptance. It needs to be told that it's good, it's great, it's wonderful the way it is. It needs that unconditional love, care, all of those aspects which we always crave for actually come from within our inner child. We want people to love us and appreciate us, right? We want people to respect us, to acknowledge our work. This is such a basic need. And this all comes from our inner child. Now, when we do not fulfill our own inner child's need, what tends to happen is it expects this need to be fulfilled from everybody around. And it often is left unfulfilled because everybody around doesn't know how to or what to fulfill. After all, only you know what your inner child needs. So when you connect with your inner child, when you understand its needs, its emotional or its spiritual needs, and you yourself start fulfilling it, you give it the acceptance, the love, the unconditional positive regard that it actually needs, then you feel complete. You will not need another person. You will never feel like, oh my God, this person hasn't said that I look pretty, that person hasn't acknowledged me, this person doesn't give me importance, that person, hasn't called me back or messaged me back. All these things happen, right? And if you're somebody who sees all these small things happening, the lack of importance affecting you, the lack of appreciation affecting you, acknowledgement affecting you, if you feel like your life revolves around how many likes or shares you've received, or your life revolves around how many people notice your dress or notice your car or notice your house, and your happiness somehow is never there, no matter how much you have, you still feel empty within, you still feel that vacuum within. If you are somebody who feels like this, then you need to connect with your inner child. Because this vacuum, this emotional vacuum can only go when you yourself connect with your inner child. Nobody else knows how to connect with you. Nobody else can. People come and go. They can't be there with you 24/7. But guess what? There is one person who can always be there with you. Who is that? That person is you. You are always there with yourself, right? So you can always provide that love, affection, attention, acceptance to your own inner child. And when it's happy, you will see that vacuum that you feel, that intense emotional hurdle, that pain constantly that you feel goes away, it vanishes. You feel complete, you feel full, and you feel happy. If you want to be happy, be fulfilled, have a life which you dream of, if you want to be peaceful, if you want to have a great self-image, you need to connect with your inner child. I'm sure by now I have convinced you that connecting with your inner child is very, very important. And by now you're also wondering, well, that's all good, but how do I connect? There is no phone line, there is no WhatsApp. How do I connect with my inner child? We have curated a host of videos for you, means through which you can connect with your own inner child. Build a positive relationship. Learn to allow your inner child to express those emotions, those pent-up emotions safely, and also keep a healthy, long-lasting relationship with your own inner child. Go down to our video section, the experientials, and check these out. You can choose whatever method you'd like to carry forward, but try them all so that you know what connects with you. I hope this entire set really helps you and you're able to connect with your inner child and stay connected. Live that jovial, happy life. Live that excitement. And also allow yourself to simply enjoy the simple pleasures in life. Happy connecting.